the end of the day just to make it seem like, yeah, I'm helping you, but in reality, they're not. That's the reason why itself is such a powerful tool. It's a wealth building tool. Yes, we might be speculative now, but we're living in a time where you having governments coming into it, all these governments buying supply, creating reserves, Bitcoin strategic reserve for the USA, Salvador strategic reserve for them. There's so many different outputs that it's insane. The one thing about investing that I'm going to tell you guys right now is that the time you see it and hear it on the news, it's already too late. You have to start looking into something before it pops off. You know what I mean? Yes, we're seeing headlines with Bitcoin. Yes, we're seeing all these things made by the government, but they haven't been really pushing it hard. Stable coins, which is another thing that I'm explaining to you guys. They're creating such a big network to run stable coins in, and the US is so focused on that because they really want stable coins to be US dollar instead of something else. They're working very hard to start getting all that going, and the more supply of stable coins you guys see, the more growth there's going to be because there's more liquidity coming. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, that's another topic. I am not trying to confuse you guys. I just want to start something simple for us to understand what it is that crypto is. All right. So I want you guys to see crypto into two different aspects. The rest of crypto is more speculative, where you can make bigger returns because, there are really good companies that are building that honestly I'm even invested in as well. But they're more speculative and more in the sense of, all right, I want to make a big chunk of profit to then reinvest into Bitcoin later on. You know what I mean? But Bitcoin for me, in the perspective that I see it, is more of a savings account, something where you could save money, build wealth for the future, to leave somebody behind, your kids something, to actually something that's real. Not leave them behind fake currency or just businesses, leave them wealth. It's beautiful because, like I said, it's borderless as well. Imagine, because let's give an example with gold. Gold is the most relatable thing. So I'll give you an example, right? Let's say we do a business transaction, right? And we bought property in Europe. We have to pay them $25 million. And we want to, pay them either in Bitcoin. They don't want a currency. They want a hard asset, either gold or Bitcoin. Now, let's say we want to pay them in gold, but our gold is here in the United States, right? We're going to have to literally ship the gold, get the gold counted out, right? Make sure we have a little extra just in case the price goes down and the spread changes, because we have to ship it out. So we're getting the gold, ready to get sent out, and it's going to literally leave from here to Europe to do the payment. From here to Europe, it's going to take at least, two weeks to a month to literally from step one to the person receiving it. So you got a month of risk of price changing. Everybody that trades here understands that gold changes every hour. Understand what I mean? So you're taking that risk not knowing if your asset's going to either stay the same price, lose value, or gain value. And if it did gain value, at the end of the day, you're still screwed, because once you sent that asset over, then it gained value. That means that somebody has to hold the extra and wait for you to send it back. Or if it lost value, now you got to find a way to send even more gold overseas in a moment's notice to finalize a transaction. You can lose the gold. Let's say if you're shipping it through a cargo container, because it's a lot of gold. If you're trying to do a big transaction, you can lose it. You know what I mean? So many risks. You could literally have it, a tsunami, not a tsunami, a rogue wave, you know what I mean? A bad season, something happened where the boat sinks and that money's gone. You know how much that happens? That's such a big thing. You know how much cargo has been lost because of shipping through the open sea? A lot of cargo. You know what I mean? That's something normal. It's the risk you take for sending something out from one continent to another. There are pirates, you know what I mean? Set aside from customs, when you get there, hopefully you don't have a problem. You have to go through all of these barriers to get payment from point A to point B. You know what I mean? It's a hassle. You got a million questions. Oh, what's the money for? Why are you sending this much? What are you buying with this money? This and that. Even though it's your money, you're still getting asked a million questions. That's the power of Bitcoin. You're permissionless. Nobody needs to know what you're sending. It's private. At the end of the day, I don't want to explain why I'm sending my money. There's no need to. You know what I mean? And there's nobody there to stop that transaction. That transaction is going to go because it's going to go. There's no miner on earth that could stop that transaction. The only way that transaction gets stopped is that we're sending it to a centralized exchange and they freeze it. But if you're sending it directly from one wallet to another wallet, it's not